Well, I didn't think I would start with another distro installation. We are now in the realm of the Fedora Atomic Desktops, basically immutable Linux distributions. I will get to what that means in a bit, but first I want to quickly skip through this installation of Fedora Silverblue because I want to point something out I noticed when I installed that first, and I didn't have the camera running at that point. Okay, we are choosing English and English United States. Keyboard language, English US, English United States, time and date. This is right. We are not in New York. And automatic time and date is this feature requires connecting to a network time protocol server. I have not hooked up the internet yet. First things first, who decided that the done button should be up here? It's like you have like a ginormous white space. Why does it have to be in the very top left corner? Yeah, just asking. Okay, we have to tell where we want to install. And this is something I ran into the first time around. As soon as I select the disk, it says no disk selected. Like, now I click again and now all of a sudden it is selected. Why do I have to? Okay, let's do that again. Installation destination, I select it, and now all of a sudden it is fully selected. Yeah, we reclaim space. Delete all. This is also different than in the regular Fedora. It doesn't ask to install on the entire disk. It is now called reclaim space. Sure, go right ahead. We're going to install on that disk. And then, before done was up here, now you continue down there. Other than that, actually pretty straightforward. So, this is what we find after first reboot. We have to choose our language and our keyboard layout, which I believe we just did during the installation process. Why do you have to do it again? I mean, it's not the end of the world, but why? It's nice that we can take location services, can turn that off. Time zone. I also have the feeling we told the system which time zone we are in. I really love doing things twice. I did the tour with all the other GNOME-based desktop environments. I skip it here. So this is your desktop. And yeah, if you think it looks a little bit like on a tablet, you are not mistaken. Because this would be your general desktop. And every time you want to do something, you have to either way press the Windows button, or you have to go up here, either way in the active corner, or click this. So 3 things to do the same thing out of the box for whatever reason. Firefox should work since we logged into the internet. I do not expect anything. There we go, works. Okay, hang on. Leave that open. Then let's open the file manager. I showed before, if you just want to create a new folder with right click, you want to drag it onto your desktop. Nope, you cannot have anything on your desktop. You can also not minimize windows. You can maximize them, you know, like you have to go like this, because this is way more convenient than having a button up here. And then, oh, how do I minimize it now? Grab and drag down. Once again, if this is a gesture activated environment on a tablet, or for all I care, even one of those foldable laptops, great. But this has no place on a desktop that is operated with a mouse and a keyboard, in my opinion. There might be people who like it, but that this is chosen to be the first one sent out in the case of Fedora, I'm pretty sure that would put off a lot of people. They install Fedora for the first time, they see this and think, what is this nonsense? Because literally no one else does it this way. There is a reason why Windows and Apple are slightly different, but yet so familiar that within a day or so you could get used to either of the systems. Okay, but here what they do, the same thing like Apple, you have that dock which you have to push an extra button for, and they have those little dots down here, right? Okay, let's open the calendar, which for some reason someone decided is the best thing to open the calendar as a full screen app, because of course a calendar is not something I use on the side in order to, you know, organize stuff that I'm doing in another window. I need that full screen. Whatever. You can minimize it. Let's close them all. Let's look in the dock. They are all closed. Go up here. For some reason there's a background app open. Which background app is open? Oh, is the calendar. It's still running in the background. Why? I don't care if it uses like resources or not. Why? And why is it not indicated with a little dot down there? Like this, like to me, this always seems like they tried to pick certain things from Apple and try to imitate Apple, but like I don't like Apple's layout, but they do it better than this. Why do I have to click up here? And how would I come up with the idea to click on the off button to find a background app? You then have to click again, and then I can close it. This is literally beyond me. And that's why we are now moving on to Kinoite, which is based on the KDE desktop environment. Why is the background app still open? Oh my god, how do I close that? Calendar, settings, go here, open. No, I want it closed, run in background. No, I don't want it to run in background. Why is it running in the background? Apps known to be running without a window. Calendar without a window is even less useful than a calendar in 4K. It's sorry, but it never like when people try to switch and do things, they never stumble over every Linux distro is catastrophic and nothing works. They are most often very nice to use. They are so much easier to use than 20 years ago. But then there are these things. And if this is the out-of-the-box experience you get, it's like, why would you bother? Like, someone goes to a web page and goes to Fedora, and the first, now KDE is on the main homepage. There's the Fedora workstation, which has the, I almost said Ubuntu, sorry, that has the GNOME desktop and then the KDE spin. They are right next to each other. But for a long time, that was not the case. It's like, really, you don't win people over this way. It's still running in, what the hell? Okay, if I close it now, will it be closed? No, it's not. Whatever. I'm done here. What's the difference between a regular Linux distribution and an atomic Linux distribution, you may ask? This will be a very crude overview. There's way more to it. It is just to emphasize the difference between the two approaches. Your regular Linux distribution is built on your hardware, and then it has a kernel. On top of that is usually something like a bootloader. And then, in order to have a modern operating system, someone would expect a desktop environment. And in order to have that desktop environment running, you need a dependency tree. And very often it comes with some software so that you can actually do something, even though the software lives in the user space. This down here is your system. Let's say you want other software that is not shipped with your distro, because the distro catered this stack of software to work with whatever they send out, right? So you now decide you download from your distro repository another set of software. Not a big deal, because the distro already thought, we pack in this dependency stack most of the stuff people will need. Okay, so that's fine. Software runs, whatever, let's say GIMP, just as an example. But now one day do you decide, you know, this distro shipped with grub bootloader. I would rather have another bootloader. So you go usually into your terminal, you get rid of your bootloader, and you chuck in another bootloader. Maybe you need to quadruple boot Fedora, Bazzite, Windows 10, and some miraculously hacked Mac OS. Just saying. Okay, you got this stack, still fine. But this is not something that shipped with your original distro. But not a big deal. Then all of a sudden, there is a kernel update. So what would happen is, the kernel comes out, it's the old one, and is replaced with a newer kernel. Yep, okay. Everything still somewhat jives and it's fine. Now, and that is, or can be true when you are coming over from the Windows world, you now want software XYZ, which you find on some kind of a weird website, because that's the way you always did it on Linux, on Windows. So you download a new software, and that goes then here. But that software now says, well, you know, your distribution didn't account for all the dependencies I need. So, and then it shoves in, oh, let's put it here. It shoves in a new set of dependencies. Okay, well, that gets a little bit wonky, right? Let's say we reorganize that a little bit, do it like this. Now there is a distro update. And they decide, oh, there is dependency number 250. We now have dependency number 250.7. You would like to replace that dependency with this one. However, you cannot really get rid of the old dependency, because there is some part of your user space software that relies on that. So you cram that in there, and you can see how this whole thing can get a little bit off kilter here, right? I will not go any further. I guess you get the point. Yes, I know you can get around that with Flatpaks and so on and so forth. Not the point here. The different approach what an Atomic Desktop does is the following. So with the Atomic Desktop, you choose, just like with a distro, usually a certain desktop environment prepackaged. And here comes the thing, prepackaged. So they say, okay, until the next full update, our system relies on kernel number 1. It comes with the bootloader, number 2, and it comes with the desktop environment, which our inclined user expects, including all the dependencies. It dependencies, and desktop environment. What they now do, they ship this essentially containerized. Just like before, we had our kernel, our bootloader, our dependencies, and our desktop environment. It's quite similar to what you would get when you install a bare bones Windows. It also looks similar to what you get when you install a bare bones Linux distro, with the difference, it is now tied together. You cannot just simply go and strip the bootloader out and replace it with another one, or just exchange the kernel. It's like this, right? That's an attempt to keep it more stable until the next update. Let's say there's a kernel update that does not jive with older legacy hardware or proprietary drivers or so. An Atomic system would test that and say, okay, this doesn't really work. We wait until this is fixed. And when it all works, then they bundle it together and send it out as an update package. Okay, so now the other difference is if you install software, it doesn't just come as software and then it pulls in the dependencies and the, I don't know, APIs and other stuff it needs. The software will come equally bundled as, let's say, Flatpak. And then you have and it comes with all the dependencies it needs. And then now you install another type of software. Let's say this one. And it comes also with your graphical interface and whatever the software needs to run and its dependencies. It might share dependencies with this software stack. However, it comes bundled, let's say as a Flatpak, and sits here. You see where I'm going with that. You now install another set of software. It might even share the same fonts or other dependencies with this software and this software, but they cannot grab the same dependencies that are system-wide shared. They are containerized and sit on top. This is undeniably more stable than the other construction we had. However, it also takes up more space because there might be copies of dependencies that otherwise would live somewhere in a dependency tree or in a dependency folder somewhere, and applications can grab what they need. On the other hand, since that is containerized, there cannot be like, let's say this software says, oh, I need the newest dependency 240.8. And then there will not be a 240.8, 240.3, 240, all crammed into the dependency thing. It only acts within its containerized environment. That is the idea of an Atomic desktop. Might not be the best approach if you have limited storage capacity. However, modern systems nowadays, usually storage is not really an issue, so this might be the way forward. If the underlying Atomic desktops would agree that they say, okay, from now on we all just do Atomic desktops, Atomic Ubuntu, Atomic Fedora, Atomic SUSE, OpenSUSE, and everything needs to support Flatpak. That would give the developers the advantage that they only have to do a Flatpak of their software. It also would take the burden of the distro maintainers of maintaining a repository with all the dependencies and so on and so forth. Because what they now can do essentially, they say, okay, now we have, there's a new kernel and driver updates and God knows what else, and instead of Plasma 5, there's now KDE Plasma 6. We want to ship an update. What they then do, they take this entire stack, goes over there, and they now bring a new stack which has maybe some new features. That's why it is one thing higher. And it will be bundled just like this one, and your software lives containerized on top of that. If for some reason something in this stack does not jive, let's say, with your hardware, because you run some weird legacy, best example, legacy NVIDIA graphic card, and it just doesn't jive with the new kernel. You boot your system and it's all jumbled and the graphics don't work and your monitors are all messed up. You can say, oh, okay, I don't like this. I do a rollback. I'm not going with this update. Take it back. I take this version that was stable. Plop that underneath. And you're back to a functioning system. That's essentially the difference. Once again, I'm greeted with a small resolution, but we should be able to resolve that shortly. Audio works. The speaker already made a little dingy noise. This is the welcome center. Explains to you what certain things are, where your taskbar is. Here, access the internet. That's right, we haven't set that up yet. It explains to you this. You were also able to see that in my other Fedora video with the KDE desktop. And I said before, KDE Connect is really handy for, well, connecting your cell phone with your computer. You can straight off the bat install certain apps if you wish to. If you click on VLC, there. Update issues. Yeah, of course, we are not connected to the internet yet. That's fine. Your anonymous usage sharing is disabled. Enable third-party repositories. Let's do that. You need a password for that. It's fine. And finish. Then we go networks. It already has my printer here. Connected. Now we check our resolution. Right click, display configuration. Yeah, it went with a small resolution, but therefore it gives us almost 60 Hertz. Large resolution, and then we are limited to 30 Hertz. I talked about that before, something to do with the HDMI. Boom, 4K, keep that one. Fantastic. Let's scale that up to 110%. Apply. Scaling, no problem. Coolio, done. Firefox already down here in the taskbar. Should work. There we go. Only goes to 100%, unlike the Cosmic Desktop in the video prior to this one, where you have 150% overdrive capabilities somehow. Okay, down here you got all your applications. What does it come bundled with? Office? Nothing. Internet? Firefox? Universal Document Viewer? Okay, nothing. Graphics basically just comes with the bare minimum, so to say, with KDE software, which is, I guess, fair enough. If you install Windows, you don't get Microsoft Office for free either. They give you the teaser and then you have to subscribe to it. Here, at least you have the option to just install it. Let's install some software. See how that works. Discover Store, loading. It takes a bit. How is that? Let's see if there's a critical update that needs to be done. System software. Why don't we try that, and then we can also see how that rewind would work. This must then be numbering 43 for the Fedora base, 43.1, and then 0.6 is 0.6. Does it tell me that it is then switching now to KDE 6 from KDE 5? I don't know. Maybe not. But this is a bit slow here. Is that my internet? Well, I'll be back. Well, the updates will be installed after the system is restarted. let's try that. Restart and install updates. That seems more like it is handled on Windows, whereas Windows has to restart for every tiny little bug fix, which is a little bit annoying. That is handled better usually on Linux. Damn it, this delay of the capture card. I now missed the bootloader thing. I think that's where you can choose if you want to boot the new version or the old version. I don't know what I did now. Okay, we are back to a small resolution again. Let's go restart. Let's see if I can catch it this time. Oh yeah, see? OS3 0, that is the one we started from the first time around, and OS3 or OS3 1, that should be the new version, the 43.1.6. Let's start this one then. This is how you then roll back. If the new one doesn't work, you roll back to what you had before. Let's go into the updated version. Yeah, the delay of my capture card is like I operate blindly here sometimes. I just have to frantically push buttons and then hope I see what's going on. Now I have a picture and now I'm back to a small resolution. But now it's full resolution. Our Wi-Fi password is there. Yeah. It was just a start screen that was small for whatever reason. And now let's try the Discover Store again and see if we can install some software. Aha, this time it loads faster. See, there we go. 2 more updates. We will not care about those for the moment. Office is usually something people would like to have. We usually have Libre Office, which is here. See, you can install from the Fedora project, Fedora, I think this is Fedora Flatpak or FlatHub, but the standard is to install it from FlatHub, so FlatHub is already pre-configured if there's something that is only available via FlatHub. Let's install this one and then we will check for... There's apparently a KDE Office version, and that is, I believe, called Calligra. I've never tried that myself. All-in-one Office solution. Once again, FlatHub is the standard. Let's go to install. What else shall we do? Let's just try Krita. Oh, of course, not in the Office category. Sorry. Home. All applications. Krita. There it is, and it's probably also set to install from FlatHub. Install. Let's go to settings for a moment. That's your usual settings menu. Quick settings, breeze dark, global themes. Oh, printers, we can check that. No printers are currently set up. Add one. There it is. IPP everywhere, driverless. Select the recommended one, IPP everywhere. That is correct. Add. It's configuring our printer. There we are. Got a printer now. Let's see if it comes with scan light. Oh, it comes with scan page. Okay, my Ubuntu comes with scan light. That's why I checked that. Let's see. Let's just scan something. What are we scanning? And there it is. It's just the list of all those distributions I downloaded, and then a whole bunch of hand scribbling. So it scans. Our scanner combo works properly. Let's see if it's done installing. Okay, under Office, something is in. Oh, Education, LibreOffice, Math, right? It says Graphics. We have now Krita. I apologize, I forgot to turn on my lapel mic. Great. Yeah, but here we have Krita. We also installed LibreOffice. Let's check LibreOffice Writer. Let's see if we have in right click, create new. No, it's not in here because that's not set up. That is really a bit unfortunate. It could write itself in there. That would be quite a nice feature to have. LibreOffice Writer. There we go. And we can pin it to the task manager. Close that. Calligra, I suppose it would be words. Blank document. Oh, I see. Just like this. That's a choice. I would prefer to have my tools up here, but I'm pretty sure that can be somehow changed. Not looking into that. What we will look into, on the other hand, is we go to settings, global theme, go to Breeze Dark, desktop and window layout. Yes, apply. There we go. Switch to a dark theme and see how. Oh, it really deleted even our pinned app down there. That's a bit odd. Can't say that I have ever seen that happen before. Okay, that's a bit inconvenient, I have to say, but it is dark. And this is now white, not like we've seen it in other instances in the other videos. Okay, let's do the same thing with Calligra, blank document, and now it's black. Well, that worked. Pin to task manager, and now go to settings and switch the theme again and see if we just switch this theme. Oh, it does just that. But if we go to global theme, go to Breeze Dark, desktop and window layout, oh, it replaces all. I see, yeah, it does. Okay, because it also comes with a new symbol down here. So if I now switch apply, and it reloads everything new, and then everything is gone. And if I now go to global theme, Breeze Twilight, desktop and window layout, apply, does this, and here, yeah. It's pretty standard, I would say. Just be careful with the global themes so you don't nuke your well-curated taskbar down there. Well, moving on to the next one. A heads up, if you download the Fedora Atomic Desktop with the Sway window tiling manager, it is marked as Sway download on the website, but then the ISO file you receive is actually called Fedora Sericea OS3 x86 blah 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 .iso. Cohesive naming would be less confusing. If you only download one ISO, that's not a problem, but if you do a video like this and you download all of them prior, you don't know which one it is. This is the login for the Sway window manager, and unlike in the last video, I have a little cheat sheet here with a few keyboard shortcuts, so I can actually show you how this would look like, because last time I was completely stumped because I do not know my way around tiling managers, because for my type of work they are not exactly useful. But this is what you would be greeted with. There is no taskbar of any sort. I think these are your workspaces. This is your volume of the microphone. I still don't know what this is, still don't know what that is. Here we can log into the internet. Those are the only things you can do with the mouse. There's no context click, no right click, no center click, no nothing. This is all done via the keyboard. Apparently if I hit Windows key and enter, that opens a new terminal. And if I hit Windows key and enter again, it opens another terminal, and you can see how they are split there. I don't even know how I switch between Windows. Tab? No idea. Let's say we try and install Firefox. That would be sudo, is this now DNF, install Firefox? Yeah. Since they use FlatHub, would that then be sudo flatpak install Firefox? Mozilla stable, Mozilla. Let's choose number 1. You want to install? Yes. Proceed with these changes. Yes. Can I just switch? Oh, I can switch between windows with my mouse. Well, that makes sort of sense, doesn't it? I don't even have to click. It's just wherever the mouse hovers over, that's the active window. So how do I close this? Oh, kill a window. Windows key, Shift and Q. Ha! Toggle full screen. Windows and F. Full screen, not full. I see. Firefox is installed. So this Shift and Q kills the window. I think we could have just started the application from within the terminal usually, but there's apparently Open Application Launcher. Windows and key and D, and then you can, this is the application launcher. See, oh, there you see what is pre-installed. The file manager, there we go. And if we now do this D thing again and go to Firefox, then it will run Firefox. And you can just go to YouTube and that works. I usually don't watch my own videos. This is just for copyright reasons. Yes, works. How was killing? This Windows Shift and Q for quit. There we go. Windows Shift Q for quit. Yeah. If you're into window tiling managers like this and you want to give it a try, like I said in the other video, this is a very approachable way. But to be honest, for the kind of work I do on my computer, it doesn't solve a problem. See what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't add anything of value. But this is how it works. Now you've seen it from a beginner. Very crudely explained. I mean, demonstrated. See you on the next one. Same thing with the Fedora Atomic Desktop with the Budgie desktop environment. It is named Budgie on the website, but the ISO you download is then called Fedora Onyx OS3 blah 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 .iso. Once again, on a single ISO, not really an issue, but it might be a bit confusing. Let's have a look at the Budgie desktop on a Fedora Atomic. Here we go. Looks pretty much like on the regular Fedora spin, but this time you just install it. You don't have to do the live session and then installing, and it's more, let's say, traditional. I believe that this down here is internet. Oh, I have to do right click. Okay. I really prefer when it does that automatically. Anyways, connection established. Let's look what we have here. Right click, desktop settings, system settings, no create new anything. This looks pretty similar to the settings menu in the Cosmic Desktop from the other video. It came with Firefox, and that's about it, except for file manager. Oh, oopsie. Is this set to one-click open? Oh, I hate that setup. One-click open, I really don't like it, but that's personal preference. So let's go to the launch software, to the storefront. I don't know why this is so slow. If this is only for first connection, or if this is because of my internet, or what's going on. Enable third-party software repositories. Yeah, let's enable them. Okay, it's a very simple software storefront. Well, let's try that again. Something is not right here. Okay, nothing's working. What's going on here? Let's log out and try to log in again. Log in again. Yeah, something is not working here, guys. I'm gonna restart. This is awful. And my internet does work. Let's just reboot and see what's happening. Okay, let's try this again after restart. What is the little bell telling me down there? Okay, I'm not doing the update this time. I did that already with the KDE desktop environment. You can check that out there if you want to. How it then creates a rollback point. But this should work without having to do an update. Now it works. No idea what was going on there before. Krita. Oh, this one is set to Fedora Linux, Fedora project Flatpak, not the FlatHub Flatpak. Okay, let's install the standard one. The KDE one was preset to FlatHub. While that is installing in the background, let's see what Fedora has to say. Fedora? Firefox. Okay, let's go to YouTube. There we go. Audio works too. Okay, let's see if the software is done installing. No, it's not. It's still preparing. Oh, this is really a snail's pace. Wow. Okay, I'm canceling this. I will do the update just out of fairness because I did that with KDE as well. Unless the update takes just as long, and then this is just like, this is not worth my time, guys. And it's probably not worth your time either. It's not the prettiest of desktops, and you just loaded them. What's going on here? Okay, I'll be back after restart in the Budgie desktop environment. Let's see if that works now. This still feels very, very, very sluggish. Why are there still 58 updates? I thought I just did that. Did it not do that because it did the other thing first? Whatever. Let's try this again. There we go. Whatever that was about. Let's just open it from here, just for the sake of it. Otherwise, you go down here and then it will be under graphics. There it would be. It created its own subsection down there. Overall, this feels slower. It doesn't matter what, it just feels... Where's Krita now? I did not close Krita, I closed the storefront. What's going on? See, there is no close Krita thing. Now it works. So when I run it out of the storefront, I cannot close the store before Krita has fully loaded. Apparently. Overall it works, but it feels really slow in comparison to the other ones we've seen so far. Okay, moving on. Cosmic Desktop. In my last video I was really fond of that one. Let's see how the Atomic version is. Start screen of the Cosmic Desktop environment, just like on the regular Cosmic Fedora Spin. Very organized. Your action buttons are close to where you are expected to maneuver around with your mouse. Unlike other things where something is up here, something is up there. I mean down there, over there. I like this. Let's log in. We've seen that before. Interface size, additional scale options. And we've seen this before too. Now it somehow looks different, but yeah, this down here with that rendering issue, let's say this is acceptable. Connected, that's simple. This seems to be a thing because it's based on GNOME, if I'm not mistaken, because GNOME is the only environment, and this one, that makes you enter all these informations again. You do that already during the installation. Okay, we go with Cosmic Dark. We switch to a bottom panel. If you want to have keyboard shortcuts, they tell you right at the beginning, which is good. Let's see what software, applications, what does it come with? Just like the other Atomic desktops, it comes with just with core functionality, and that's fair enough. And from there you start putting on software. Let's see if this is as slow as the other two were. Explore. Okay, why is this always so freakishly slow? after the first startup. What's going on here, guys? Yeah, I know this is not working right now. I'll be back after a restart. Here we are, back again. Now it works, sort of. Okay, everything is up to date. Is this the symbol for Flatpaks? I mean, that's funny, but it would be better to actually see the symbol of the app. Wouldn't it? Yup, Fedora Flatpak system. So once again, it's not set up for FlatHub, it's set up for the Flatpaks from the Fedora repository. This is unfortunate. I don't know if this doesn't load properly with me or if this is just, why is this all like that? Let's close this for a moment and restart it. What installations and updates are in progress? Oh, installations, yeah, sure, of course. We are installing a program here. No, still like that. It was not like that on the regular Cosmic spin with Fedora. I would remember that. Apparently the new Cosmic Desktop, I don't know if this is the one, is not based on GNOME. It's completely freshly built on Rust, according to this AI overview. This is apparently the new one because it has that tiling manager built in. And that was apparently not really possible with GNOME. I'm just reading what it says here on the internet. If you want to look that up yourself, go ahead. So I would like to know, is our application now installed? Oh my god, this is really slow. Wow. I mean, if you go to the KDE Plasma one, we installed 3 applications. They all went successively, not parallel. However, this is slow. My oh my. And by KDE Plasma version, I mean Kinoite. Oh, this feels like I'm on freaking dial-up. Okay, I will come back. Okay, it has apparently installed. Nothing out of the ordinary. Firefox just works. And then we should find Krita right here. Where is it? Try it again. There it is. 2 times the charm. I don't know what the issue was there. Kind of got stuck on loading main window. Why do I not get a Krita symbol down here? Why is it this weird? Pin to app tray. Okay, will it change to the actual Krita symbol? No. It looks like a settings gear. That looked and felt better in the actual Cosmic Desktop spin, not the Atomic version. If that has something to do with access rights given to Flatpaks, or how Flatpaks communicate out of their containerized environment to the desktop environment, I'm not certain. This is this. Welcome to the Fedora 43 design suite, which is aimed at graphic designers and providing them with a base set of tools to get started. It unfortunately comes with the base GNOME desktop, and therefore after installation it comes with the same annoying tell me what language you need and tell me what keyboard you use interface, even though we already did that during installation. Then we could take the tour again. I won't. I did that in my other video. It's pretty unspectacular. And that what we got here is the standard GNOME desktop. Push the Windows button to open your dock. Click show apps, and then it comes preloaded with the certain creative apps like Audacity for recording purposes and audio editing purposes. Darktable is for photo editing. Then there's video player, camera app. Blender is already there. Don't know what color picker is. I don't know what entangle is. Let's have a look. Okay, no idea. You can hook up several cameras, I guess. Fedora Media Writer is, by the way, in my opinion, one of the easiest and best ways of creating bootable USB drives for Linux. It's also available for Mac and Windows. Document scanner, yeah, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Most other distros show you Blender the moment you open the software center. Let's open the software center, and I would not be too surprised if I go to create I was wrong. It's not there. However, other distros have it just right here on the suggested apps thing, because it's a very popular 3D modeling app. Here it comes pre-installed. Krita, the one you've seen me install so many times before. GIMP. Synfig Studio is an animation tool. Grybus, I think that is something similar to Scrivener. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there's script. Yeah, it's kind of like that. You can have, maybe it's not the same thing like Scrivener, but there is, can't remember what it's called, but there is an open source version of Scrivener. It's almost the same at the beginning. Yeah, this is unfortunately a bit disappointing. All of this software is quite easy to install yourself as soon as you have a graphical storefront, and a lot of distros show you them as a suggestion because they are very, very popular design application choices in the Linux world. Let's move on to JAM, the one lab geared towards audio creators. Fedora's lab geared towards audio creators comes with KDE as a desktop environment, and once again it comes with small resolution, but we will fix that in a second. We've done that already so many times, and since we have context click, it's not that big a deal. Comes with a rather stylish background. I'm switching resolution, display configuration to this one, apply. Yes, I would like to keep that and go to 105%. There we go, keep that. Fantastic. If you watched any of the other episodes or prior to this, the Kinoite install, it's basically the same. Let's just check out what software comes pre-installed in the audiophile version. Under multimedia, yeah, you have all kinds of mixer, and Ardour is, if I'm not mistaken, it's a DAW. Font scaling, let's say 150%. Forward, apply. I don't know, open. Maybe it's not what I thought it is. Oh no, wait, let's click start. Doing all kinds of things. And here's the thing why I believe for people who are in this kind of creator business, having KDE as a desktop environment is better, because basically all your main workspaces are already organized in the same fashion, right? You don't have to then deal with weird gesture controls and such. You can just go like this. And what else do we have here? There's Guitarix. Okay, something failed. That's fine. Like, I don't know my way around this kind of stuff. It's just for people who are into music production. They probably know what they are looking at as soon as they open it. This does not start. Odd, but that might also just be something that needs to be loaded on top of something else. Like I said, I do not know my way around all this music production stuff. Synthesizer. There, the synthesizer. It does stuff. And it comes also with your regular Office apps, and then obviously, as we've seen in all the other KDE based desktops, the Discover Store. And that's what I meant before. See, if you open it, you have immediately Krita and GIMP right there on the main homepage, and Kdenlive as a video editing program, which I thought was kind of missing in the design suite. No, it's not technically graphic design, but still, you might want to extract a certain still image from a video or something. And then, yeah, if you would just go to graphics here, you can essentially just with one click install all the apps that were there before. See, there's even subscribers. I think from a creator perspective, this is a more appealing, more cohesive package than the design suite was. It's my personal opinion. And we're now gonna move on to the Games Lab. This is the login screen for the Fedora Games Lab. It comes with the XFCE desktop environment. At least it doesn't make us type in our name, our language, and our keyboard twice. I have to say, on the first boot, after installation, it didn't boot, it just got stuck halfway through. And then I had to restart the computer twice. And now it all of a sudden boots. Why? I don't know. Let's see what it comes with. Should be up there under applications. And then there should be games. This is what we're focusing on. Action games. Holy, there's a bunch. But I think those are all, yeah, those are all Linux games. And to be quite frank, you could just install them by going to a software center, which I believe this one doesn't have. Oh, it's late, guys. I'm at this for hours now. Yeah, but I think XFCE does not come with a software center, does it? What's this down here? Oh, application finder. I'm sorry. Oh no, that's just the application finder of software. No. Yeah, what can I say? This is a little bit pointless if you ask me. But let's check out, I don't know, the first one, Alien Blaster. Yay. How do I shoot? Oh, there. I mean, okay, that's Alien Blaster. I don't know, Adventure, Crossfire. Select a server. What? Oh, I don't know. This one. Unable to connect. Okay, end of that. If you want to play Linux games that are exclusive Linux, just download them in the software center of your choice on the desktop environment of your choice. You don't have to install a complete different distro for that. That's unnecessary. By the way, also, if you haven't heard yet, freaking Steam works on Linux. Yay.